Hello. It's Wilson here again. How you doing? You good? You well? I need to trim my beard, man. Ooh, getting out of control. Anyway, it's not why you join this. Anyway, nice to see you. I'm in the studio at the minute, recording some more wonderful episodes with the brilliant producer, Paul. He's just in there doing some editing. There's that wonderful photo taken by, a very famous photo taken by Mark Harrison, who's in the office upstairs. Top boy. He was a guest on our podcast, if you remember rightly, a few months ago. Lovely man, doing wonderful things. I hope you're all right. I hope you're well. Lovely patrons. Lovely, just random, lovely patrons. Thank you for helping us keep the lights on. Really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. So what I've been dealing with lately is a crisis of confidence. I don't know what's happened, but it happens every now and again where I have to, like you just think you're shit. You think you're shit and you think everyone hates you. Not hates is a strong word, but don't like you. Or it's just, and then that affects my confidence, and then my gigs haven't been going that well because I'm getting in my own head. And Kate was with me at a gig last night and she just went, yeah, she goes, you could see you just like, halfway through you'd be like trying to second guess what you thought the audience were thinking of you, but they were having a lovely time, they were into it and going with it, and you kind of got in your own way. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I hate it when it goes like that. So I don't know how you lot deal with this. I think you just have to kind of have a word with yourself and go, look, people do like what you do. People do like you. I mean, not even with what I'm doing, with what you're doing at work. If this happens to you, and people don't like me, it's probably bollocks. They're probably not even thinking about you. They've got their own shit going on. We get in our own heads, don't we? We start worrying about what people think of us, and that kind of chips away at your confidence, doesn't it? And it's a funny one. I don't really know, because sometimes I just have to let it wash over me and go, right, all right, that's where I'm at, and tell myself that it's nonsense. And then just start looking after myself a bit better. So I'm like knock the drinking on the head a bit, because not that it's a problem. I've said this before. It's just like because I gig all the time. I'll be like, I'll have a pint, and then suddenly you're doing 4 or 5, 10 pints a week. Which is, I know some people, I do that in a night. And I go, yeah, well, I do too, and that's not good. So it's just, I think you have to start taking care of yourself, don't you? When you get a bit like that, you have to start you have to go, all right, what am I doing? I need to get more rest. That's probably it as well, probably tired. There's a lot going on, so it's probably that. It just goes like that, doesn't it? You have a bit of a lull in your life, and it goes down a bit, and then you go back up again. It's just part of life, isn't it? You just have to ride it out, I guess. I don't know, but that's where I'm at the minute. So I'm dealing with that fucking, the insecurities of that, and going, oh, everyone thinks I'm shit, and I'm not. And it sounds like I'm not feeling sorry for myself when I say this. It's just where my head's at the minute. And like I said before about the podcast, I'm going, oh, what's the point? But then lovely people like Danny Phillips dropped me a line and he went, mate, he goes, the podcast is great and we really enjoy it. And that must be true, because you wonderful people help us. You give us a couple of quid a month and you help us out. And that, you wouldn't do that if you thought it was shit. So I need to get out of my own head and stop being such a dickhead. It just goes like that, doesn't it? I don't know. I hope you're all right, though. I hope you're well. It'll be fine. It'll pass. It happens now and again, and it'll pass. And you just have to do the things we've talked about before, don't you? Be kind to yourself. Take yourself out for a walk. I think that's it as well. I've not been able to exercise much lately because I've been away on tour, and we did a gig, right? You might have seen, for those of you that follow me on Instagram, we did a gig, and Bobby G from Bucks Fizz was doing the lights and sound. Right, I'm not saying I was never a massive fan. Land of Make Believe is a tune, but I wasn't like, because I think they've just been in my life since I was a kid. It was Angela and I were giddy when we saw him. We were like, what? Bob from Bucks Fizz? Like, yeah, he volunteers down here. And it was fucking great to meet him. A lovely fella, and he really knew what he was doing. And he was dead chuffed that we knew who he was. Not in a big-headed way. He was just like, oh yeah, nice. And we had a photo with him. Just a lovely dude, really nice man. So that's funny. So, you have to remind yourself of those bits, don't you? The good bits. You get to meet wonderful people like that. I've got a good life. I don't know why I fall out of love with myself. Such a prick. It just happens. I know it's bollocks. I know it'll pass. But hope you lot all right. Are you doing good? Did you do the coronation? So that was something as well that didn't cause problems. We just my wife and I had a bit of a chat about it because she's, you know, her mum loves the royal family, and her nan loved the royal family. So she loves her mum and nan. Of course, she says, I love her mum. Her mum's lovely. But she was like, I'm excited for the coronation. I want to see it, and I wasn't poo-pooing it, but I was just, it's just that thing where, you know, everyone's struggling to make ends meet, and this big party's happening, and you're like, if you'd have done a bit more, maybe taking into account that people can't afford it at the minute, you know, still have your party, but I don't know, there should have been, I don't know, it's a tricky one, isn't it? It's a tricky one. Maybe that was on my mind as well. I don't know. I just wish people weren't struggling so much. I wish things didn't cost so much. I wish these big companies, they just announce record profits and then go, oh, yeah, there's nothing we can do. Like, well, give us all free petrol for a month. How about that? You know, give us a month off from everything if you've got all these profits. Well, that's just, it doesn't work like that, does it? All these things bother me, and in an ideal world, we'd all have enough, but we don't, because it's not an ideal world, is it? It is the world, and human beings are the way they are. But I don't need to be maudlin. Going back to what I was saying, it's going to be fine. We all go through it, don't we? And then we come out the other side, and everything's fine. We all go through these stages of feeling shit and feeling great. It's all part of what we do. But talking about it is the way forward. And I spoke to my lovely wife, Kate, about it. And she was great. She's like, all right, well, okay, let's just remind ourselves of what we do have and how good things are. Let's do that, shall we? And it worked. It's starting to work. I've got a gig tonight. I'm off to Bristol tonight. For seeing this is on the Thursday, the 9th of May. And I'm off to Bristol tonight. I'm supporting the wonderful Phil Ellis, former guest, a couple of times. So I'm doing that tonight. And then tomorrow, I'm in Findon, which is near Worthing. And then Saturday, where am I Saturday? Or somewhere. Oh, I'm supporting Angela Barnes in Radlett, at the Radlett in Hertfordshire. And then Sunday I'm at Colchester Arts Centre with Angela again. So it's going to be a good weekend. So I've got all that to look forward to. Why am I being so hard on myself? She wouldn't book me if I was shit, would she? No, she wouldn't. They're not doing me a favour. That's like with you, with your job or whatever you're doing. People aren't asking you along to things as a favour. They're doing it because they want to see you. They've got you doing that job because you're good at what you do. That's it. You know, and that's why. That's why they're doing it. They're not doing you a favour. People don't come to my gigs as a favour. They go, oh, I know what he does. I'm going to go and watch him. So these fucking negative voices need to do one, don't they? They need to fucking do one. Anyway, I've been listening to Scrounge lately. They're a good band. Sugar Daddy is the name of the album. Have a listen to that. It's a banging album if you like your sort of indie music. But yeah, do something. I always say this: do something that makes you happy. You know, yeah. Listen to music, go for a walk, plenty of water, talk to loved ones, go and have a coffee with a mate. You know, that's how you get through this fug. You know, it all happens to us all, and it squashes us down. But we come out the other side. We have to be more communicative about, because I was glad I spoke to my wife, because she was I was just worried that I was pissing you off. I'm like, no, it wasn't you. I was just stuck in my own head and thinking that everything was shit and I was shit. I was thinking I was shit. And I'm not shit. You're not shit. We are not shit. We're good people. We're just trying to get by and survive, aren't we? So yeah, it's nice doing this in the studio and not surrounded by cars. I know people love it when I go off on a tangent about the cars driving by. So yeah, I know. It's nice doing it in silence. Anyway, so the website as well, my website is up and is all updated. So if you want to come and see me, all the dates are on there up until end of July, and I'll do it again further on in the year. But yeah, thank you for all your support again. I really appreciate it. I love it. I'm going to do these as well. And now I'm more aware of what you can do with Patreon. There's a load of stuff I got carried away at the beginning and said all manner of things, and I'm like, and then everyone was like, no, you can't do that, you can't do that. I'm like, oh shit, I thought I could. Anyway, I'm working it out now. You know, I'm not a technophobe, I just wasn't sure. But now I know I can talk to you guys, I can put these videos up, I can message, we can chat on the messenger. I know you can do that now, so I'll be doing that. I'll be dropping you a line, saying hello, seeing how you are, and we'll get involved with each other. It sounds weird now I said that out loud. Maybe I shouldn't be around other people. Oh, fucking hell. Get out your head, Richie. Listen, thank you, everybody, and your continued support. We'll do this again next Thursday when I have another ramble about some bollocks that I'm dealing with. And if there's something you want to talk about, drop me a message. I am looking at them, and we'll have a chat on the next one. All right? And we'll do a live one of these as well. I enjoyed that. You see that before. We did a live one on Instagram. We'll do that. That's nice. I like chatting to people and find out what's going on. Anyway, let's get involved. Drop me a line. We'll have a chat. All right? Thank you for everything. I love you all dearly. I'll see you next time.